friends, and welcome back to the channel. Our daughter just recently got married. It was a small wedding and fairly simple and basic event. We did it mostly ourselves with our friends and family helping us, and I'd like to show you some of the preparations that we did to prepare for that. First of all, flowers. About 6 weeks before the wedding, we went to Hobby Lobby as they were having a 50% off sale on all of their wedding flowers and supplies. Here she's holding 2 of the pre-made bouquets together. She wasn't really that fond of them, but we ended up buying one bridal bouquet anyway. And here it is by itself. It sells for $39.99 regularly, and it was on sale for half off, so we paid $20 for it. And she bought 2 boxes of burgundy flowers and pink flowers on Amazon for about $20 each to make bridesmaid bouquets and to supplement the bridal bouquet. So she still couldn't tell me exactly what she wanted, so I put the pre-made bouquet into a vase and started adding flowers to it, and then got her permission to go ahead and make a bouquet using those. We bought 1 stem of the tiny blue flowers at Hobby Lobby for $10, and she bought the greenery that I just showed you at Walmart for $2 a stem. This was quite an involved project, and I felt overwhelmed more than once, but I think the amount of money we saved by doing it ourselves was worth it in the long run. Right here, I am cutting the wire stems off evenly, and then I'm wrapping it with floral tape. After wrapping with floral tape, then I took the wide ribbon and took maybe a 3-inch or 4-inch piece that I cut and put that on the bottom so the wire would not, there would not be any raw edges of wire to snag on anyone's dresses or hands. And then I wrapped the rest of the stems with the wide blue ribbon, using a glue gun to secure it at the top and along the way. I've made bows quite often, but I was having a terrible time with this ribbon. It was so stiff and it just would not do what I wanted it to do. So I looked up a tutorial on how to make bows, and there were 3 different types. I decided to go with this one where you measure the width of the bow, and then you keep on going back and forth in an accordion fashion. And so for this one, for the regular bridesmaids bows or bouquets, I made it 6 inches wide. For the maid of honor bouquet, I made it 7 inches wide. And for the bridal bouquet, I made it 8 inches wide. Once I did 6 or 8 layers, then I secured it with some floral wire and then tried to fluff it up the best that I could. I went ahead and used the ribbon that I had already purchased because I just didn't have the time or energy to go and try and find another substitute. But I would not recommend using the ribbon from the Hobby Lobby bridal aisle. Once you have your layers of ribbon, then you're going to want to fold it in half so that you get a true middle, and then secure it with the wire And then, like I said, try and make it look like a ribbon or a bow. I'll leave a link to the bow making tutorial that I used in the description box. Good news is that you can't really see the bow when it's connected to the bouquet. So here I am. This is one of the bridesmaids bouquets, and I am just positioning it, and then I will wrap the wire that's connected to the bow onto the stems with floral tape. You may be saying to yourself at this point, oh, I don't care how much it costs, I'm just going to go ahead and pay the florist to do it. And I didn't price bouquets out for this wedding, but I am pretty confident that we got 5 bouquets for the price of what the bridal bouquet would probably cost if we had gotten fresh flowers. Plus, I like the fact that I didn't have to worry about keeping it fresh. We had silk flowers. They were done a week before the wedding. I didn't have to worry about having to keep them in a cooler or keeping them in a refrigerator or trying to keep them fresh in Phoenix heat. And if you're wondering where the corsages are, it was a crazy month prior to the wedding, and we opted not to do corsages. So they would be easy enough to do. Just fluffing the flowers up to make it look nice. And I still need to wrap the stems with the wide blue ribbon. Attaching the bow to the bridal bouquet. This was made out of the wide blue ribbon. This is the bouquet for the maid of honor. It's a little bit bigger than the regular bridesmaids bouquets. And I know there are some more true red roses in here than they are burgundy, but I liked the contrast of the flowers, so I was not really obsessive about everything having to be a true burgundy. You may disagree, but I thought the flowers looked nice even though they weren't all the same exact color. And those are the colors that came in the box that she ordered from Amazon. The blue I did add, like I said, from Hobby Lobby, but everything else came in those little boxes. And if you don't like contrasting colors in bouquets, then do them all the same color or the exact colors of the wedding. It's entirely up to you. I'm just sharing with everybody what we did so that you can get a sense of what you like. This is the finished bridal bouquet. I added up the cost of supplies for flowers and ribbon that it cost me to make 5 bouquets, and it came out to $89.49. That's not counting the cost of floral tape and floral wire that I used. So adding in the cost of those will round it out to about $95 for the flowers. My daughter purchased 6 boutonnieres on Amazon for $11. So adding that to the cost of the flowers, it totals out to be $106. That's not counting the cost of the garlands and the flowers that I put in the garlands. I'll go over that in the decorations portion of this video. My daughter purchased 6 bow ties for $14 from Amazon, and I shortened one of them to put on the ring bearer's stuffed animal. So there was a little elephant that had a bow tie on, and I have these ribbons and safety pins to put the rings on, but they decided to go with giving the rings to the best man and the maid of honor to hang on to. The petals for the flower girl and to put in her basket were purchased at Hobby Lobby during that half off sale. We only paid $5 for those. I hope to resell some of these items on Facebook Marketplace or the wedding swap and shop that's in my city. I have several cake servers here, which were my mom's, that are options to use for serving the cake. And so I decided to put some flowers and ribbons in the color of the wedding onto the cake server. So first of all, I polished up the cake server. It was very tarnished, and I'm just making a very simple ribbon or bow here, and then tying it off with the floral wire, attaching it to some of the blue little delicate flowers that we have, and then tying the ribbon to the cake server. So just a little chit chat while I'm making this bow and adding it to the cake server. One of the things that I did to make my life a little more organized and less chaotic was to make a checklist, and then I could check off things once I had done them. I also got some boxes and put them in a spare bedroom. You could use a laundry basket, or if you have any kind of tote or cube that you wanted to use. And when I finish things off, or like when we bought the plates and the utensils and the table covers, I would put things in the box and mark it off. And so I knew that on the morning of the wedding that I just needed to load that box into my car. I also added things like a sewing kit, safety pins, hand sanitizer, paper towels, and things like that, since we were going to be out at a park. And voila. My daughter and her fiance had gotten these palettes from a friend, and they wanted to use them for decoration at their wedding. So they painted them white. She hand painted their names on one of them and then used a vinyl lettering on the other one. I wanted to make table decorations that would incorporate their colors of their wedding, which were navy blue and burgundy. My daughter was also open to fall colors since the decorations were going to be pumpkins. So I made 10 of these pumpkins out of cotton and denim to use as table decorations. If you're interested in making these, I'll leave the link for the video that I made in the description box. I was lucky enough to find a sale on the garlands when I purchased them. So they regularly go for $20 and they were half off. So I paid $10 for each garland and I purchased 6 of them. If you're doing a DIY wedding, it really does pay to shop the sales and to be patient and wait for things to go on sale, because I paid half on all of the flowers for what I normally would have. These beautiful burgundy chrysanthemum stems were originally $7 at Hobby Lobby, and with the half off sale, they were $3.50. So I got these to intersperse into the greenery to give it some color. My daughter wanted to use a nothing bundt cake for her wedding cake. They make a gluten-free cake that she really likes. So I was searching for a long time for some kind of platter or cake stand that we could put that on. I went to a store called Tuesday Morning and found these 2 options. I decided to go with the wooden one since it was kind of rustic and the wedding was going to be in a park and more outdoorsy looking. The cake topper is acrylic and she found it on Amazon for $9.99. I purchased these little chalkboard signs at a party store called Party City. I also purchased a chalk pencil at the same store, so I was able to write down different flavors or different varieties of foods for our guests. This wedding was very basic, but I did want to do some personal touches, and I thought it would be nice if we had a little takeaway gift for the guests to take home. So one night I made 4 batches of these spiced pecans that are really good. And I'll put the recipe for those in the description box. I bought the little Wilton treat bags at Walmart, and they come 52 a package. And I packaged the pecans into those little bags. And then I found these little boxes at Hobby Lobby. They come 22 a package, so I got 2 of those. Almost all of our guests were driving 2 hours to go home, so I thought that this would be a nice treat to have for the drive home. I packaged up a few Sour Patch Kids packages into the boxes for those who would prefer those, or some of the children have egg allergies and the nuts are made with egg whites. We had quite a few guests coming who had food allergies either to gluten or dairy or eggs. So I was trying to put together some foods or sweets that they could eat. I made dairy-free and eggless chocolate chip cookies using dairy-free chocolate chips, butter-flavored Crisco or shortening, and an egg substitute of a half a teaspoon of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, and 2 tablespoons of water per egg. I'll leave that recipe in the description box if you're interested. I made regular brownies, and on the back of this Costco-sized box, there are instructions for making larger sizes. So at first I did 3 pouches for 48 brownies using the half-size baking sheet. But I can never get that to work for me. Using a baking sheet, they crumble, they fall apart. So I went back to using my brownie pan that I always use, and I made another batch of brownies, this time using a 9x13 pan and 2 of the mixes of the pouches of mix, and then I frosted them using chocolate buttercream, and I'll leave the recipe for that in the description box. I was able to make all of the sweets ahead of time and freeze them. When my daughter ordered her cake, she also ordered 48 buntinis, which are little bite-sized bundt cakes. The flavors she chose were strawberry cream, confetti, and chocolate. She wanted to place those around the wedding cake. I also purchased gluten-free chocolate chip cookies from Trader Joe's. I made some mini chocolate cupcakes that were both dairy-free and eggless for the people with food allergies and who couldn't have the buntinis. I'll leave the recipe for those and the buttercream in the description box. For the regular chocolate chip cookies, I decided to take some help and bought I bought 2 packages of Costco chocolate chip cookies, and we ended up only using or needing 1 of them. We also purchased 2 of the fruit bowls from Costco, and we only used 1 of them. And the same for the vegetable platter with ranch dressing. We purchased 2 and only ended up using 1. Having the extra fruit and vegetable tray came in handy the days after the wedding, as nobody felt like preparing anything for snacks or dinner. For the Caesar salad, I purchased regular romaine lettuce and washed it up and chopped it at home the night before the wedding, but these Caesar salad kits are a good option at Costco. It says on the back that they serve 7 people, but I think that you could probably serve more if you're serving other things with it. Costco pizza was also served. Also, mod pizza for everyone with dairy-free and gluten-free diets. My daughter supplied bottled water and sparkling flavored water for drinks, and one of the bridesmaids graciously offered to buy the sodas. She had Dr. Pepper, Coke, Squirt, and she supplied the ice and the coolers for the drinks. We purchased the forks, plates, table coverings, and napkins at Party City a month before the wedding. The night before my daughter's wedding, she realized that she hadn't gotten anything as far as a guest book or anything that guests could sign. Her maid of honor ran to Hobby Lobby and found this on clearance. So they gathered 2 Sharpies, a silver and a gold one, and her guests signed this as the guest book. And so this can go in their home either by hanging it or by putting it on a flat surface to remind them of who was at their wedding. In the days preceding the wedding, it rained both here in Phoenix and in the wedding destination for several days. So we were very pleased when it was both a beautiful and clear day to have an outdoor wedding. Thank you for coming along as we made preparations for my daughter's wedding. In the Bible, in the book Song of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 4, it says, "I have found the one whom my soul loves."